That sounds familiar. Is that our intro music?
It was our intro music. Welcome, everybody.
Oh, we're live?
Brand new day.
Woohoo!
Look at us.
The sun is shining. It's almost not winter here in Duluth, Minnesota.
No, he lies. It's like 4 feet of snow out there. Lies. Aspersions.
It was good skiing. The birches are very inspirational.
I actually kind of believe.
So our 5-year-old is in the house. Say hello, Hugo.
Hello.
Hello, he heard you. So I'm going to work with Rembrandt soft pastels, wet into wet, because I got some new toys. Look at those luscious colors. Such high pigment load in those things. It's so great. And I got a couple of, they sell them in little sets, which is a lot of fun. And I have the desert palette because, and she's going to shut off the furnace that I forgot to shut off. Maybe. She looks like she's going to fall. You can do it. I might have to do it. Anyway, it's weird that it went on because it's warm in here. So here's the desert pastels right here. And it's very nice. So I'm going to work with that. And I might bring in some of the rich orange pastels, soft pastels from Rembrandt. So I'm wearing their swag right here. And it's a lot of fun. And I can go turn that off real quick if you want.
I already did.
Did you? Just takes a minute. And there's the orange one. Very nice. So we're working wet into wet. A friend of mine was recently working with some soft pastels, and they were doing dry, and I think that's great. But frankly, you should probably wear a little breather mask when you're working with the dry charcoal and other pastels, because those pigments, that chalk, the talc or the China clay or whatever they use for the carrier gets up into your lungs. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to pour some water on this plywood. This is simple plywood board. That's the music right there. And we're going to spread that water around. It's like it's paint. And I like to use gloves all the time. No matter what I do in the studio, I'm wearing gloves. So I'm just saturating this plywood. Now here's the thing with the plywood. Try to stay away from southern yellow pine because it will warp like crazy with the water. What I'm using is something else. I don't remember what it is, and I apologize. I'll try to find that out if anybody wants to know. And it's very resistant to the moisture, working wet into wet. I also like the fact that this is an open grain versus gesso because it's really, really going to absorb a lot of the pigment from this. So here is just the soft, look at that already. That is amazing. That is just the black soft pastel. And I'm just blocking out some things so that I can come back in with the desert inspired colors that they have, the set from Royal Talons. Royal Talons distributes the soft pastels from Rembrandt. They also have Van Gogh and Amsterdam acrylics, a number of other products that we really, really love. All right. So I'm laying out a grid. I like the black in there because it's going to add a little bit of a patina to the really bright saturated colors. I don't even know where to start. Do you see all these colors, Krista? Look at those. I don't even know where to go with those. I mean, they look good in there. I don't even want to ruin them. So I'm going to start with blue. I'm going to make ooh, there's the side of it. Whoa. You get a very painterly effect, which is one of the things I really like when you're working with wet into wet. And a lot of pastel artists don't seem to be doing this for some reason. I don't know why. Do you know why?
No idea.
No idea.
Hugo doesn't know either.
Yeah.
So we'll get a little blue sky up there. We'll just go straight up blue. And just using the broad side of it to get the field of color laid in really quick. I'm just keeping it loose today. And one of the reasons the Rembrandts are so nice is because the pigment load is so big. They've got a lot of pigment crammed into these little sticks. That's one of the reasons they're very, very effective and very nice pastels. I'm just saying that because I'm a Royal Talons ambassador. I'm saying, my kid's laughing at me. I say it because this is really great stuff.
It actually is kind of funny.
Oh, you think it's funny, do you?
Being heckled by the.
I'm being heckled by the 5-year-old today. Oh, you think it's funny, do you? So the interesting thing is the colors that they've chosen for the reminds me of some of the flowers that some of the cacti do. And Kristen, can you believe that I'm actually trying to grow cacti in the studio now?
It's a little weird, but yeah. This is no weirder than my pond in the chimney.
Well, there's a story in there. So people that don't know me, I don't like prickly things. I used to hate when she made me do
The
the
roses.
roses. Yeah, don't like roses.
But he'll keep his cactuses just fine. Forget about my roses.
But I have roses, or I have cacti now. Oh, that's nice. That brown. I like getting the little packages. I let them kind of put it together for me for the colors because sometimes you need a limit. You know, in creativity, if you don't have a few parameters to work within, then you almost get a creative block. You know, because there's so many choices that you can go, so many different ways you can go. You need something lighter like the sand. White sand. Oh, that is very white. You notice that it's blending with some of the other colors. So here's the blue. I can bring that in with this white, create some really nice effects. Still kind of improvisational. And you've been doing a lot of work lately with the glass company, right?
Yeah, working with Lake Superior Art Glass and
Lake Superior Art Glass, and they're located where?
Canal Park, Duluth, Minnesota.
There you go.
57 Canal Park Drive.
There you go. And they have, which is cool. They have classes, right? You
Yeah.
can go in and do glass blowing. Is it just glass blowing or?
No, it's also torchwork, flame work.
I don't know the difference. Torch work and flame work.
Well, if you ask a glass blower or nothing, it's all glass blowing. If you ask a novice, he will say one is the big furnace and the glory hole, and the other is with
Wait,
smaller.
glory what?
You heard me.
What is a glory hole?
Glory hole. The other is with borosilicate glass, and you're using a torch, and it's a much hotter process. It's basically Pyrex glass.
Oh, look at that orange. Yeah, you didn't answer the question. What's a glory hole?
It's the furnace. I said that
Oh,
already.
the furnace. So it's a big. So what?
That's what everybody thinks of when they think of glass blowing.
It's a big giant furnace. Yeah. They use like that. What do they use? Like wood for that?
Oh, gas.
Gas, natural gas. Look at how that's blending. It's nice. And as it dries, if I want to work it more, I can do two things. Just continue to work within the pigment that exists, or I can fix it with Degas Fixative, which is from Spectra Fix. And I like to use that to move forward. So I'll do a couple thin layers of this on top of this, and then I can build more layers on. It crashed.
Who out there is painting today?
I know it's the desert palette, but I feel like I need something to represent the greenish, the greenish cacti, right? They have green.
Yeah, they're definitely green.
Nice colors. So they're kind of blending together with the water. The pigment's moving and shifting. And I like that fact a lot. There's your towel right there, Kim. I'm using every color just because I want to see what it looks like. You know the various handles of Lake Superior glass?
No.
I
They
thought
don't
you,
have one.
Should. Now we can blend this too. We can pull this down using our hand. And we can blend that in. Do a little brown up there for no particular reason, then I think it means it. With a fleshy tone. I don't know, is that really deserty? I don't know if it is. I think the
I've
flesh.
never been to a desert, so I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, a friend of ours, a fellow painter, is out there right now in the Southwest. And we have a good friend of ours that is a sculptor who's out there. Dean and Colin Poole, Poole, and they're extremely talented sculptors, amazing. So I went to school with her.
Do you have clay you play with?
I might need to add the clay, meaning you might have to. Yeah, that's all the stuff you made already, kiddo.
This is soft pastels. Not oil pastel, but soft.
Now, oil pastel is a lot more difficult to work with in some respects. It has its own benefits, but it is more difficult to work with. Let's see.
Everybody's like, wow, good turnout.
Let's see if we can find a green in our Andy Rembrandt giant half pastel set that will be like a cacti. We'll do some things that kind of look like cacti thrown in here. This is what happens in northern Minnesota at this time of the year. We're all trying to find things that feel warmer. So I've been thinking a lot about my cactus. I keep cactus over there, a little display. And I really enjoy them. And I have a sculpture piece that will be going in a show coming up very soon. And the same thing with that is there'll be a cactus attached to the sculpture, believe it or not. Sculpture. Kristen stepped away, so if you have a question, you got to be patient for her to come back. So these kind of remind me of the cacti, different kinds. Let's get some different color in there. Let's see what other color can we do. Let's get a crazy color. This little bright kind of. There we go. That's nice. Kristen's back, so if you have questions.
A painting of. What is your painting of? You know today?
Yes. It feels like a desert to me, maybe. At least that's the inspiration with my cactus. And the fact that one of our friends, an artist friend, is out there in the Southwest right now. So I'm thinking of kind of like, I don't know. I had these little sets, from Rembrandt that were really cool. One of them called Desert. The colors. So I thought, well,
How about you show us one of your cactuses?
that means I have to go off camera.
Okay, not really. I can just
I don't have any nice cactus, but look at the dirty hands. I gotta wipe off my hands. I got a white shirt on today.
It's pretty brave.
Oh, what do we got here? Cactus flies. We got the little fuzzy,
And a little fuzzy
and
over.
we got the tall one. I don't remember the name of these guys. So there's a couple. This one's blooming like crazy. See all those little brown buds on there? It's about to bloom, and this one a little white flower on it. This one has a cute little soft pink, and this one's just really fuzzy. So that's like Velcro, all this fuzz on it. It's really crazy. Anyway, I love those things. Oh, let's get a bright orange bloom on one of these, shall we? Look at that. I love it.
This is nice color.
Let's do another one. here. One more, keep it in the 3 realm. See how it's kind of blending together there? If I waited till it dries and then did the fixative on top, then I could get a very nice, very, very nice, brighter color over the top of that. But, you know, for now, that works for me. Like a lot of these pieces, after I do the live, I'll go and rework them later. Or work on them, I should say more. Does anybody out there have any cacti? Any chance? The reaction on that. The nice teal I'm going to bring into the color a little bit. I'm going to keep it very abstract today. I start often with the concept of a specific, realistic approach to something, and then it's just going to get more and more abstracted. And sometimes it's no longer about the object that I started with, it's just about the process, because I'm a very process-oriented painter. So it's the emotional, it's the emotive. It's kind of like jazz. What else do I have to play with? Have I played with all those colors? Ooh, I got a dark purple. Where can I do a dark purple? Like that. The lines and some weird little purple flowers there. Let's do more here. A cluster of flowers. So after a bright rain, very nice rainfall, we're going to get these little blooms everywhere, full of color. You see, working wet into wet gives you some nice impressionistic sort of approach to things. And then as it dries, then you can add more and more detail that is more linear or more aggressive as far as like that. You know, we can get a much more solid line.
Hi, Ricardo. Nice to see you today.
Lovely, just lovely. Do something over here. I feel like we need light, pale, pale. How about this? It's like a pale purple blue. I like that. Still wet enough? Oh, yeah. I'm liking that. So I delved into the bigger box of soft pastels. It does go quickly when you do it this way. You know, soft into wet into soft or wet into wet. Not really right. We're doing wet techniques, and it really uses up the pastels very quickly. But the effect is so gorgeous. I just can't stop myself. So I'm definitely moving past the initial concept. Now I'm working this aesthetically. Where do I need to bring the color into it to kind of create the balance or tension, as the case may be, and then just having fun. It should be fun, right? It should just be work.
Oh.
What do we always say, Hugo, when we're painting?
Create without fear.
Create without fear. That's right. That's my kiddo right there.
Wow, you go.
Oh, those are nice.
We need to be separate.
I like that. Really nice.
Yeah, last time it looked like it did
I don't know if you guys can hear them.
no, like no, that is in very sensitive. Oh, it's
Little blooms thrown in.
I think it's
didn't.
I think it's
Let me see, other colors here we can have. That's a nice hot yellow with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, pastel mats that are sandpaper and nice pastels. Yeah, well, we're using plywood today.
Yeah, and I know what you mean. There's some really nice sanded paper that you can buy, and Royal Talents does have that apparently. I've never, to be honest, I've never actually used it. I've always used the board and enjoyed it a lot. Sometimes you can use other types of
Hey, you got
materials.
enough paint? Oh, yes, that's fine.
I'm mixing it together.
Okay. I said there's a paint though.
Yeah, he goes through the paint fast.
Yes, he does.
He's working with a tempera paint.
Oh, is our connection bad? You know what? Let me turn off the Wi-Fi.
Oh,
We'll
connection's
just
bad
use-
today?
We'll just use the cell signal. There we go. Let me know if that gets any better. Sometimes the internet in Duluth has been a little bit difficult lately.
Difficult, lemon, difficult. I like the way that yellow kind of warms up everything, the tones even more. That wasn't in this yellow wasn't in the actual desert one. It was more muted colors in there. So I'm delving into this big kit of various colors. Trust me, if you ever get these, it's worth it. And there's other soft pastels that have good pigment load. But that's the main thing, is find something that the permanence is really high on and the pigment load is very high too. And you'll never be disappointed. I mean, you end up drawing and doing something like this. It's really, really pretty. It's just beautiful to work with. And now I'm going to do a few black lines just to mess with everything. These are usually fast. I kind of call them painting sketches, I guess. I don't know what else to call them.
We're about to move the fourth part of the Dorothy thing. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
The Dorothy, I think, have grass.
It's just too weird. We do some weird little spikies, like it's from a prickly pear. Let's see what that does. Oh, that's kind of fun. I'm gonna add that over here. And that's not really the color of the spikes, but you know what? It's fun to kind of take some liberal, creative.
We're taking part of the ectoplasm.
Ectoplasma out. There's my kiddo.
Sorry. I think it's not real ectoplasm, but I think it's
Nice. There we go. I think the black lines come from the background I have in graphic design, but also animation and things along that line that I really like.
this gas piece. A little yellow.
He's having his own painting show over there. It's
I'm not
adorable.
in a show.
You're not in a show?
Yeah. Because the camera is facing this way.
Yeah, I know. It's on me today. Dot, 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 dot. I like it. This looks like a desert thing to me.
I think I'm making real kind of. I think I'm making real ectoplasm, but it's really pretend.
Yeah?
Pretend. But don't tell anybody.
Okay.
You didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear anything? You are on international publication right now, buddy.
We really need some
Just segmenting out the area. I just want to bring in kind of segments.
You tend to overblend. Yeah, that can be a problem.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing. And that's where I think that using the fixative between layers is important. because using the fixative will keep you from over blending. So, like if I wanted to work this up more, I would stop, wait for it to dry, spray it down with the fixative, and then build up more surfaces. And remember, use your fixatives and all sprays in a well-ventilated area and wear a respirator, please, for your own lungs' sake. My asthma is now out of control as a result of various habits from ceramics and sculpture work and also working with other things in the art world. So you want to make sure to wear your respirator. Like that. Let's just blend that right in. See, we can blend it. This is what's fascinating with this stuff is you can actually blend pastels.
Then you have a bigger bottle for this.
No, there's plenty of
I'm trying to make it.
You can shade very well.
I'm trying to make it instant. You know, like an instant.
Creating some nice values.
Ice.
That's enough. Thank you. I asked it.
We're not going to be able to do much ice paint, Hugo. It's not going to be that cold anymore for a while.
My husband's an optimist.
See, just doing some rubbing it in with my pinky.
I'm trying to stir it off
Using my pinky finger to draw.
It's a new
So
color.
you can blend that nicely.
It's a new color. I'm gonna use the big ones. Oh, that one. No.
Can you guys hear my son back in the background? I'm just curious. Can you hear him? The mics are somewhat directional, but you know.
Yes. That's not a very good
I
color.
think this is like a desert house over here.
Make sure you put it down here.
Okay.
I'm not
Very
kidding.
specific instructions right
I'm
there, my love.
not kidding.
And if I soften some areas, that'll help create an illusion of depth within the piece too.
Jennifer also has a hard time being loose. He's been really funny with Chris.
Oh yeah,
It's not us. So much.
not so much, but automatic drawing is a good way to kind of resolve that situation. If you know what that is. I think it's a really good way to sort of loosen that thought process because it's a thought process, right? I think.
Oh, you're in Chile today.
Lovely. It's just lovely.
Needs to be more picture.
Who's that?
She says she needs to be more picture.
Oh, well, you know, nothing wrong with just being.
Yes.
I can see what you're so excited about.
I think he's very excited about something.
I'm very.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that is really cool.
Just kind of create some air currents here.
It's something made out
Swirls.
of iron. Iron ore. Iron ore. Go ahead. And we really need a chemical.
What are you spraying?
Oh, it's just water. Use this a water spray bottle to moisten the surface again so I can keep doing what I was doing.
Water?
No. I need the water layers.
Would
You
spray
want the
water?
sprayer? Here, you can have the sprayer. I don't need it right now.
Okay.
Give it a little spritz. There you go. Oh, there you go, big boy. You're welcome. You're being polite. Are there blue cacti flowers?
I don't know.
In this painting, there are.
Also, I need to say like that. Hi.
So I once went running back when I was much younger
Hi.
in Santa Fe, New Mexico,
Mhm.
out in the area, and I was unfamiliar with the dangers of cacti. Yeah, they hurt when you run through them.
Question?
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about using pastels on a moistened surface?
Well, there's, like most things we say, create without fear. So we want you to try it and just see where you go with it. That being said, if you're working, you can do this on paper. You can do this on canvas, although it doesn't work as well. And even with the paper, it doesn't work quite as well as it does on the plywood. The other option that I haven't tried is the sanded paper. And I understand that's quite good to work with. But you're going to saturate the surface and then just use the pastels in it. It's as literally as simple as that. I don't know if that even answers that. Does that remotely answer the question?
I don't know. I know.
That's lovely. I want to do something more in here, but I don't really know color I want to use. They have so many colors in Rembrandt. Look at this. You ever
Well, these
looked at
are
the chart?
soft pastels, not oil pastels, which is part of why I think they work so well in the water.
Yeah, you can't do this technique with oil pastels. It doesn't work. And I've tried. And I have a number of oil pastels. And I've tried using different oils with them too, and that sort of works. But it doesn't have the same characteristic at all.
No, there's no gesso on this wood. It's
Just the
a
wood.
raw piece of board.
You may have to, in your area, experiment with wood that has a good resistance to moisture warping. So different plywoods are made from different kinds of wood. If you're using, I think it's a southern yellow pine or something like that, the thing will go like this, whoop, and just go crazy. So experiment with birch plywood. This is just 1/4 inch. I don't remember what this is made out of, and my local supplier down the street didn't remember the other day either. Bless his heart, he's like 180 years old or something like that. Mr. DeSanto is an amazing man who's very knowledgeable about wood. So he got me on this stuff, and it's great. It hardly ever warps. But you may have to experiment with boards for a little bit to find a board in your area that works really well. And then at the beginning of this, you can watch this again. This will go up recorded. I doused it in water. I spread the water around, and then I started doing gestural drawings of it to create this look. And it's just a really great way to work. Plus, you're not breathing the dust. You're not going to have that inhalation of the chalky substance, okay? Because there is a clay. A lot of these will have a clay as a carrier. And I can't remember precisely what kind of clay this is. It's not talc. It's a china clay. It's a kind of china clay, if I recall. And then they load it with lots and lots of pigment. So you don't want that stuff airborne because then you're going to inhale it. I like working for that reason with the wet surface. That probably more than answered that question. Okay, so I don't know where else to go with this right now. I want to get a little sandy-ish tone in here. This is really dull. Let's try that. There we go. That's the color. That's a sandy color right there. So I'm just going to work that color in. I hope that answered kind of the question about surfaces. I can't get the same effects on my canvas. I just can't. It doesn't do the same effect. I can't get it in the same in paper, although it's closer than paper. Paper is definitely closer. But if you do the paper and you're going to work wet on paper, here's the thing, and I posted a video about this week, right? You just did?
Yes.
Use 100% cotton rag paper. If you use anything that has wood fiber or other stuff in it, synthetic fibers, inevitably it's going to go and just curl up on you, like immediately when it touches the water. It's a crazy thing. So my recommendation is to definitely spring for the extra cost of the 100% cotton. You will not be sorry about it. Trust me. My heart is going to you.
Sure. So they're using clear gesso on watercolor pad.
Okay. How does that work for you?
They say that it's cheaper than sanding.
Yes, it would be. So I'm looking at the value. Sometimes I squint my eyes to see the value, and that helps. Some people take pictures of the piece midway through, and then they put it in a black and white in the filters because the technology is absolutely astonishing, amazing right now. And then they can see the value, and that helps to know where your eyes are going to go. Saturation of color will also lead your eye through as well. So, but I'm just kind of squinting my eyes to see what I can see. Oh yeah. Clean or dirty? Okay. Oh, you have the sprayer over there. You can put the wet on it with the sprayer. Bringing some highlights up. Love this color. It's like a pale yellow, white, sandy color. It's really nice. And you can blend that in, or you can make it. That's the nice thing. This stuff just blends so nice. Create that painterly effect. The more you build up pigment, the more painterly it becomes. That's why David moved all of my stuff out of there. So anything new going on for us? We got shows coming up this summer.
Yeah, got some shows coming up.
We've got the Zeitgeist show that's up still for a little bit longer.
We've got a publicist now?
Do we now?
We do.
See what that leads us. That could be interesting. The Lake Avenue restaurant show is up, by the way. We've sold several little pieces out of that already, which is nice. And we have stuff at Lake Superior Brewing, which is down the street from us. Coincidentally, somebody here occasionally chefs down there.
We are in Duluth. There's
Mommy.
Oh, that Mommy is the one that does that?
Yeah, cooks down there.
In between all your other jobs.
Yeah, we're pretty busy person.
You are. So I use the black to highlight things. Now I'm going back in with this pale kind of yellow to bring out some highlights again.
Hey, but you can't guess the name of the song.
Funky Medina.
No, you don't.
That was way off.
It's like somebody naming your paintings.
No idea.
Baby, I'm stuck in a cone.
Maybe I'm stuck. This is kind of like me naming a painting. Completely random. Ooh, that's like a golden color. See that? Oh, yeah, that's nice. That's the desert right there, sort of. I'm using my artistic license.
Where did you get tested for that license?
Well, I'm still paying the student loan, so I guess that's where it. I feel like I better stop. I might fill up all the areas.
Well, you're reaching 40 minutes, so.
I might do some more color. Maybe I'll do another red one up here. Where'd that red go? That was really nice. I'm gonna do a red up here.
Myrtle Beach. Never been.
That's not working. There we go. That's better. Kind of brings the red over there. So we have like 4 red spots leading us through the piece.
Well, thanks, Doris. She says you're great.
Aw, I'm gonna blush. Thank you. I appreciate it, everybody. I'm going to sign off. And I'm so excited. Again, we worked with Rembrandt Soft Pastels today. They have a number of sets available. You can buy them from most of your major retailers. You can also go to Royal Talons North America online and see a lot of tips on how to do that. I meant to get you a link. Maybe Kristen will put it up later. On Royal Talons Facebook page, they had a couple weeks ago a really, really phenomenal live on the details on these Rembrandt soft pastels. Jeff Olson did that. I don't know if you knew that, but it was really, really nice show that he did about them. Very informative. I have like 3 pages of notes from it. About this much stuck in my little head, but it was a lot of fun. So everybody, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Check us out. This is David Austin at davidaustingallery.com, and my beautiful wife and assistant yawning in the background, Kristen. And our studio guru assistant is Hugo, back in the corner now working in the play. I see you back there. So thank you, everybody. Please join us on all of our platforms. We appreciate all of you. Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.